Dear boomers, senior shaming is cruel and it's a form of discrimination, and the media gets into it. People from all walks of life get into it, and you don't see it very much with in when comedians have an act of some sort. They're not usually shaming the elderly people of our society, but in reality, it's time to shed a light on this issue because it's actually the status quo that we're questioning here. According to recent studies, ageism is rampant across this country, various sectors, from the workplace to healthcare to seniors often bearing the brunt of negative attitudes and mistreatment. There's just so many things when there's elder abuse that sometimes is swept under the rug. Elder abuse can actually take place with your um, offspring, can try to steal your money when you are not looking. And ridicule and marginalization and people make you feel like you're not included in their conversations because they don't think you understand. A lot of times people will start talking really loud in some kind of attempt to get the person who is older to hear them when they're not deaf. And I'll never forget when I was first started in nursing school, we had the first thing we learned about was about how seniors do slow down. They do take a little more time to integrate what it is that people are saying to them. For instance, if you're in a checkout line and a senior is in front of you and is a little slower than you are, people are so impatient in our society. And let me just say that cruelty is a lot of times you might think of cruelty in terms of a dog, beating a cat, beating an animal. But the opposite of cruelty is when you see a bird whose wing is broken, you take care of that bird. Or if you decide to adopt an older dog, for instance, that takes a lot of patience. I have an older dog. She is the most precious soul, and I just love doting on her and making sure that she doesn't fall down, her back legs are getting weaker. And I'm doing everything I can to keep her around because she's a delightful soul. And another thing is, you can imagine a woman who acts young, but she might be in her 80s. She has spent her life dedicated to family and her people in her community, and she might just say she goes to a family gathering and she hears people talking about her as if she is not with it. And I've seen that kind of thing happen. People talk behind other people's backs and not in whispers, and they shouldn't be doing it anyway. We all know that real respect comes from non-judgmental regard for everybody we meet in today's world. And the elderly may have moments when they become they become the patience of the person who probably doesn't have any patience becomes cruel to them. And so when people start talking about somebody at a family gathering in whispers, and this person that they're talking about hears them, that is humiliating. And it's kind of scary because for that person, it's kind of scary because she might think, that they're going to, they're going to gang up on her and put her in a nursing home, and she doesn't want to go to a nursing home. She wants to age at home. And so that creates a lot of fear when these people in your family, say, have power of attorney. I wouldn't give anybody power of attorney, and I can understand why people don't, is because they are subject to a whole line of people who want them to do something they do not want to do, which is go into a nursing home or go into anything that is not their own home, taking them away from their pets, their dogs, their cats, their neighbors. And these things are not isolated incidents. So the woman who was at her family gathering and heard people talking about her, this mirrors countless experiences of seniors who face similar treatment every day. So the consequences of senior shaming extends far beyond hurt feelings. It actually erodes the fabric of our society, perpetuates harmful stereotypes that devalue a whole range of older people. So when you feel, I don't know how we can stand up to it when it happens to us. I think you have to have a sense of humor, because they have no right to tell you what you should do with your life. You've lived your whole life, and possibly and probably in service to others. Maybe you've raised children, and you may have raised their children. And in reality, when one individual is devalued, the whole society is devalued. You can look at bashing of gays and lesbians, and bashing of black people, Asian Americans, bashing of fat people, obese people. And that apparently is one thing that stands out. People are still bashing people who are overweight, and it isn't even something that anybody cares about. But our society has become very cruel, and that is why we need to have an inward life. The beauty of growing older is that we can foster an inner life of meditation and joy, compassion, and forgiveness. We have to forgive the people who know not what they do. And as we grow older, we actually have a lot of wisdom to share with the younger generations. And that is what I hope we are doing here in this daily thing that I'm doing. The whole thing with Tim Dillon is very strange, that everybody would come to his rescue when he doesn't need anybody to come to his rescue. He is cruel. He's a very cruel human being, although he may not realize that might be his act. But I would hate to have an act where I am being cruel to people, and then I get off this video and then I'm nice to everybody. Don't you think that kind of is a form of schizophrenia? But so we can't allow the shaming of anybody to happen. We can't allow it to go unchecked. Ageism is alive and well in America, and it goes far older than the boomer. People in their 80s are not boomers. People in their 90s are not boomers. And the older you get in this society, the more maligned you are. Please subscribe to this channel, because I would like to get 1,000 subscriptions by the end of May, and that would help me to monetize this channel so that I can continue bringing these things to you if you like them, although not everybody does like them. That's fine. Not everybody likes everything. And I really believe that ageism in American society is a problem. And it's not the same problem in other cultures. I know that my Muslim family, who I sold my house to, and I have stay in close touch with them, they value their elders. They value their mothers and their fathers. They talk about them all the time. And it's almost like when you talk about your mother in these other societies, and also indigenous societies, revere the elderly. They revere their elders. And that is what is missing in this country. How did this happen? How did it happen that, well, the political system has fostered a lot of cruelty. I believe, and it's really interesting that Trump was just about to pick a VP who shot her own dog in the face. And that's cool. That's supposed to be cool. Oh my God. That's terrible. So we're really robbing ourselves of the opportunity to learn from the wisdom of older people. And a lot of times they'll shy away from any discourse. But there was somebody in my YouTube comment section who said that he was outside and noticed that his boomer neighbor was doing some planting, and he went over there to talk to him and help him plant his stuff. And also, the kid, this young man, was a collector of typewriters. So this boomer man said, "Oh, that's wonderful. I'm going to give you one of mine, a perfect shape typewriter of the olden, a vintage typewriter." And he went into his house and came out with it and handed it to the young person. And that's the way we really are. That's how we are, all of us. And to think that it's okay to even have a comedy act and get up there and bash anybody is real. I mean, I don't think it's funny. I have a sense of humor, and I don't think that's very funny. So there is a silence in our society about bashing seniors. People actually don't take a stand against ageism. They are, I don't know why, but by fostering a culture of respect and inclusion and making everybody feel like they're included in your sphere of influence with love and respect and compassion and forgiveness, that is the way to go. And I am happy to say that that's where I want to go and where I want to be. So, peace on earth. Please subscribe to this channel, and I will be here again tomorrow. Namaste. Thank you.